Welcome to season 4 of Bogan Becomes a Pilot, and it is official. We are a Virgin.
What did he say?
Australian airline pilot. That's right. Richard Branson reached out to us. He absolutely loves the Bogan Becomes a Pilot series, and he wants us to bring Virgin Australia back to the forefront of aviation, and we have accepted the call. Today's episode is going to be unreal. We have purchased the 737 MAX from iFly for $69.
Nice.
And we're going to be flying it all the way from Brisbane, Australia, and taking these passengers through a rite of passage into becoming a Bogan. That's right, we're going to be going to Bali Denpasar. We're going to be doing a full tutorial and a full review on this plane and telling you whether or not you should buy it before Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 or whether you should wait. Strap in, the weather is absolutely putrid, it is storming, it's going to be a rough one, and welcome to season 4 of Bogan Becomes a Pilot and Bogan Airways. So here we are in the cockpit, and it is looking absolutely phenomenal. I love what iFly has done here. I mean, it looks very realistic to real life. The textures look amazing. I mean, I just love the big screens of the 737 MAX. It is going to be hard to go back to the normal 737 by PMDG. I mean, they are reliable, they are great, they have an absolutely terrific working plane, but I mean, the 737 MAX, I mean, how could you not love it? It just looks absolutely phenomenal. Say what you will about how good it is in real life, there has been a lot of issues, but at least looks-wise and in the simulator, it's hard not to fly this now that we have it. So now that we are in here, let's get this tutorial started. So we're going to start by going to the EFB. Okay, so what you're going to want to do first is click the power button, and then you're going to go to the systems page. And after that, you're going to go into ACARS, and you're going to put your SimBrief pilot ID. Usually you put your alias or your username. In this, put your pilot ID. It should be about 6 numbers. I was putting in my username and it wasn't working, and it took me forever to figure out. So yeah, that's a little tip to get started.
You suck!
Once you're in this menu, the first thing you want to do is go to ground support. You want to click your electric, that's your GPU, and then you need to click set. I always forget to click set, and I just sit there forever thinking, what is going on? So set your electric to basically make sure you click set and make sure it says done. As you see, I had to click it a couple of times. And then now you should have your GPU power. So let's go up to the control panel. All right, now that we're up here, it's going to be very similar to turning a normal 737 on. So you click your battery on and you open your standby power and you push this over twice to go to battery, and then you turn your ground power on. Now then we want to turn our APU on. Before we do that, we are going to align our navigation. So with this, you just click the right mouse button instead of kind of clicking it and then scrolling with the mouse wheel. So it's a bit different to normal. After that, you're going to turn your left fuel pump on, and then we're going to go start that APU and listen to the first time the 737 MAX APU, mate. Oh, I am excited. Let's go listen. Not bad, mate, not bad. With the thunder in the background as the APU is sounding on, I actually loved it. I really did. All right, now that we have that done, we're going to turn our APU gens on. We are then going to turn the rest of our fuel pumps on. We are going to turn our hydraulics on, and we are going to then turn our window heat on as well. So with that, we can also set our yaw damper. We're going to turn our packs onto auto. We have to turn them off once we go to turn the engine on. And then we're going to turn some lights on as well because it is really dark outside. We're going to turn all of these lights on, and we're going to put our strobe into steady. All right, so now that that is done, let's go to the EFB and let's put our packs and our fuel in. So we want to go to performance and payload, and then we're going to go to weight and balance. So once we're here, you can actually use your SimBrief to import this data. So click read MSFF data. We are taking 116 passengers over to Bali to officially become Bogans today. So we are going to set our fuel and our payload, which is automatically bought in here. So we click that and it should say done. We're then going to go to fuel, and it has been bought in by Microsoft Flight Simulator as well, by SimBrief, sorry. So let's set our fuel as well. That's done. We're going to click set payload one more time, and then we're going to click complete. And so if you go down to your screen down here, you should see that we have 10,000 kilograms of fuel, which is what we have here. So mate, Bob is your uncle, Susan's your auntie. Let's start getting the FMC loaded. All right, so I've realized looking back that this is actually wrong. We have 170 passengers, so I don't know what it's reading because it picked up that we're going from Brisbane to Bali. So I don't know what that problem is. It might be a bug. So I'm going to put that in the cons category. But if you do have this problem, all you do is you simply come in here and based on your sim brief, you can put this in. So we're going to click that and it's going to set that. This is pretty close to what our cargo is, but fuel is what we have to get right. So we actually have 16,000 kilograms of fuel, so we're going to put that in. All right, and we now have the correct fuel, so we're going to set fuel, we're going to set payload, we're going to click complete, and then we're going to come over here and yep, our fuel has been set. All right, so we are down at the FMC, and the first thing I'll say is this is extremely responsive. When we looked at the A330, it was terrible, it was lagging, but look at this, mate. You click it and it just goes in beautifully. So the first thing we're going to go is to our init ref, and we want to set our IRS position. So you can either put your reference airport in, or you could just use your last known position. In the game, it's usually pretty fine. So just put your last known position in and we are good to go. Let's go down to route and we are going to request our flight plan, which is going to bring in automatically from SimBrief as long as you have put your username in correctly. All right, so it is loaded. It says route 1 uplink ready, so we can click load again and it is going to put our information up the top here. There we go. We're going to activate that and we are good to go. So before we put our perf in it, I'm just going to put our departure and our arrival in. So I'm going to go to departure first. We are going today from 1R. So we're going to put that in. And we are going out of BN4. So we're going to execute that. And then we're going to go back to our departure and arrival. And we're going to put our arrival in. So if you're using VATSIM or anything like that, this may change. But we're going to put it in now anyway. So we are going into ILS 27 and we have no SID for that. So we're going to execute that and then we should be good to go. So let's go have a look at our legs. All right, so the last thing you want to do is get rid of discontinuities. I also removed the vectors because in this game, if you don't remove them, it just continuously flies forever. I am not a real pilot. I don't know what the vectors actually mean, so please let me know in the comments below why we have them and why we shouldn't get rid of them, or what we have to do in that case, because I do really want to learn as well. I am just giving you the easiest possible way to fly this in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to take Waco and we're going to go to the previous page and we're going to get rid of this vector and that discontinuity. And then if we go to the flight plan, you can see now that it's fully connected and we should be able to get out of here. Go through your steps just to make sure everything looks okay and there's nothing weird. And then, yep, we're going straight into runway 27. So we are good to go. All right, so if you have a problem, you just click this and it will reset your perf index. So we're going to execute that. We have 4 in our reserves. So we're going to execute that. Technically, we should be using 12 in this, but for some reason it won't put it in. So let me know down below why that's not working. But anyway, we're going to go to our N1 limit and we're going to go to our takeoff. We're doing a flaps 5 takeoff. This will automatically set our CG and then it'll automatically insert our V speeds as well. And would you look at this, we have the passengers boarding. We have Dorothy from season 2 helping us. She is in the red bestowed by Virgin Australia and she is looking fantastic. Our wife Shazza, who used to help us in season 1 and 2, has officially left us, but we are still looking after our kids for some reason. I don't understand why, but unfortunately it is what it is, mate. I'm not a stepdad, I'm the dad who stepped up, you know what I'm saying? And so you look at the cabin and you can see it looks pretty phenomenal. The textures are great and you can do a lot of useless things in here. You can actually open and close the bins. And you could also open and close the windows, mate. You know, do we need those features? Probably not, but we have them. So thank you, iFly, for that. The passengers cannot sit down yet. This is done through GSX. I think they'll incorporate it eventually into Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, but as of right now, they can't sit down. They just come in and they disappear. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I am just using the toilet that they've included. You can actually lift the toilet seat. This is insane by iFly. No one has ever included a working toilet. Unfortunately, you cannot flush it. So it isn't fully study level. So as I mentioned before, you're paying $69 for study level and you're not getting a flushable toilet. So it is a bit disappointing. But let's just sneak out of here. And let's look at the back of the cabin. It is looking fantastic. I mean, iFly has done such a good job. They've included a couple of features which, while not necessary, are a very nice touch which haven't been included before. I'm thrilled by what I'm seeing here. The textures, I mean, look at the textures of the ground and the seats. I mean, they just look pretty phenomenal. iFly just really knocked it out of the park with the cabin. I can't wait until we see passengers actually sitting down on this plane. All right, so I've asked GSX to push us back. So what we're going to do is go to menu, go back to our systems page. We are going to disconnect our electric and disconnect our chocks as well. And then make sure you click set, done, and then you're good to go.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Thanks, mate. We got the old Aussie battler out there in the thunder or rain, mate. He's always showing up to work. And look at that, mate. We've got an Emirates A380 leaving. It is looking phenomenal, and we are getting pushed back. And this 737 MAX is looking absolutely terrific. We've got the old Australian battler over here, out here in the rain. Typical Australian with the mustache, mate. The mustache is a must-have if you're living in Australia. And you can see it's looking good. The textures on this plane are great. iFly has done an amazing job at modeling this plane. All right, and we are done. Let's give Bazza a hand. I mean, what an absolute champ. He is out there in the rain and the thunder. He is not scared for his personal safety. He is just looking to get all of these Australians into Bali so they can become bogans.
Clear to start engine.
Thanks, mate. He even gave us 2 waves. What a nice gentleman. We are clear to start the engines, and I am excited to hear this. I've heard nothing but great things about these engines. So let's go up to the control panel. All we're going to do is we're going to start with the right one. So we're going to click our left mouse button, come down here. We are going to click our right mouse button, and we are going to go outside and listen for the first time. Yowzers! Oh my god, I'm gonna have to change my pants after that. That was insane. The best sounding engine I've ever heard. Seriously, in this game, I've not heard a better sounding engine. There is no sound pack attached to this, ladies and gentlemen. iFly has just absolutely crushed this ball. It's a home run, mate. I am loving this plane so far. All right, let's go up and start the second one. We are going to quickly
Today, Junior?
Oh my god, I am seriously having a seizure right now. I can't talk. Set this to ground, go down here, turn this on, and let's go listen. We had a plane flying over us and you could still hear those engines. Oh, like seriously, that is unbelievable, mate. I am a huge fan. 10 out of 10 on the engine starts. Let's go up here. Let's turn our engine gens on. We're going to turn our APU bleed off, and we are going to turn our APU off as well. I have gone blind. There we go. All right. Now that we have that, we're going to arm our emergency exits lights. We are going to turn our seatbelt sign on and our no smoking sign. Both of them are set to auto. We have all our lights on. We're going to turn our taxi light on. And yeah, I think that's pretty much good to go. And turn your packs on. Don't forget about your packs, mate. The yaw damper is on. And yeah, that's pretty much good to go. So we are ready. All right, so right before we taxi, a very cool thing about this is it actually comes with an airport map. So you can actually see where you need to taxi based on whatever ATC is telling you. So that is really handy. If you don't have charts or anything like that, you have this. So this is pretty cool. You can do a huge amount of things in here. I'm not going to go through it. There's lots of videos that go into detail about the EFB. I don't want to hold you here forever, but it does have a lot of good functionality. So this is definitely a pro, particularly since it's only been out for a couple of weeks and it's still in alpha right now. Okay, so right before we taxi, we're going to come on and we're going to turn our flight directors on. So you have to right click this. I'm not used to doing that. Usually it's just the left click. And we're also going to turn our VNAV and our LNAV on. And when we'll arm our auto throttle once we're in the air, we're going to set this to 20,000 feet. From what I've been told in the comments, I used to think it was V2, but now I've been told that apparently you can set this to around 200. So let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong. But yeah, we have that pretty much set. We can also set our flaps right now. So we're going to set that to 5 because I'll definitely forget. And then, yeah, go through your checklist, make sure everything's good, and then go out on the runway and punch that bad boy into the sky. Let's go. All right, so we just got permission by ATC to take off, so we're going to turn our auto throttle on. We're going to turn our landing lights on. Make sure you double click it to get them on, and turn our runway lights on, taxi light off, and we are good to go. All right, so here we are, flat bang strap in the middle of the runway. There is only one thing to do right now. We have everything set. We just have to absolutely punch the throttle and take this thing into the sky. I am probably more nervous than I have been in my life, because if you look, the conditions are just terrible, mate. I do not fly much in the rain, but it's a wet day in Brisbane, mate. It's always raining in Brisbane, and we are going to have to do what we do best with the weather conditions that are in front of us. All right, let's take off. I am babbling. Our V1 speed is at 151. And just listen to those engines, mate. I am a serious fan. The sound package on this is absolutely awesome. We're going to have to keep going to the right a bit. And our rotation speed is coming up. Oh, we're a bit off course here. And here we go, mate. Let's push it. Oh, we're going a bit to the left. Oh my God, this is pushing crazy to the left. What is going on? All right, that was not good. I don't know what happened there. Flaps up. And we are good. We have a positive rate of climb. And it feels good. It feels pretty heavy, which is nice. We're going to put our autopilot on. And it is slowly going to take us around on this wet and windy day in Brisbane, mate. Goodness me. And we are going straight over the ocean. Look at this. It is looking fantastic. Everyone say goodbye to Brisbane. And yeah, that felt good. Obviously, we went a bit to the left. That was my fault, because I am terrible at this game. But the plane feels good when you're taking off. It has a good amount of weight set to it. We are going way too fast. What is happening, mate? Okay, I mean, we should be at 240, so I don't know why we are going this quickly. Let me know in the comments below. I didn't know what that A thing meant. That's probably on me, because you should be keeping under 250 when you're taking off. And we are seriously off course. Like I said, we got rid of that vector, so maybe that's why. So we'll keep an eye on that to see just how well it follows some of these waypoints. That's likely on me. So yeah, other than that, we are in the sky. It is looking pretty miserable. We can't see the airport. It is raining. When we start to go through the clouds, I'll come back and we'll talk a bit more. Here we go. We are just getting through the clouds now. There is nothing better than going up through the clouds of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. It is starting to adjust the course now, so that's a good thing. When we flew the A380, it followed the course to perfection, and that's a freeware plane. This is $70, so I'm hoping that this was just an abnormality because we got rid of that vector. Now that we're kind of approaching 10,000 feet, we're going to turn our landing light off and our runway light off. And then we should be good to go from here. Hopefully we should just follow our route, and it should just be a very, very smooth flight. We're gonna go down and we're gonna look at our flight level. So we're at 260. So let's set that. So we should pretty much be good to go from here. Hopefully it is a smooth flight. We still have lightning going on all around us. Some of these textures aren't looking great, which is a bit disappointing, but the clouds, as always, are looking fantastic. And yeah, we are just out here today, mate. We are out here today. All right, I'll let you know when we get to 36,000 feet just to make sure everything went according to plan. If there's anything else that happens, oh mate, look at this lightning. This is crazy. Anything else happens that's a bit funny, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye. Before we go, because we're just cruising for a while, this is about a 6-hour flight going all the way from Queensland to Indonesia. So the last thing what we need to do in the 737 that we don't usually have to do in the other planes is make sure that our ILS is set appropriately. So the way that I do this is I go to APXP, which is a website that you can see here. And what you can do is you can type in your ICAO. So we have WADD, which is Bali, and it will basically give you the frequency and the bearing in which you need to enter for your ILS approach. So we have runway 27. We had a frequency of 110. So what you're going to do is come here and change the mode to ILS. And you can see that it is currently set to 109.90. So this needs to be set to 110.3 on both sides as well. So let's set this to 110.3. And then we need to set that to active. We've set that to active, and then the last thing we need to do is change our heading to that point of that said load GS, and that is 267. So we're going to change, oh not heading, sorry, the course. Bruh. My bad. And we're going to change that to 267. And this is going to allow us to get on the ILS glide slope. You don't need to do that in the 777. You don't need to do this with the Airbuses. So it's just a bit of extra work. The 737 really makes you work when it comes to turning the plane on and doing some of this other stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The next time I'll see you, we will be descending, and I will let you know whether or not this perfectly tracks where we should be in terms of our VNAV and our LNAV when we are starting to approach the airport. So thank you so much for flying Bogan Airways. This has been the Bogan. I hope you're having the time of your life. Goodbye. And here we are, we have begun descending into the clouds. There is nothing better than going through a couple of clouds on Microsoft Flight Simulator. We have been flying for 5 hours and it has been going perfectly so far. The plane has been following the route to perfection. It has been doing the VNAV very well. It indicated that we could set the altitude to 5,000 feet, so I did that a few hours ago, and it has been descending by itself without me having touched anything. So that's another tick in the pros category. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming in. We are currently going to switch to the approach and put our second autopilot on, and then start putting some flaps down because we are going way too quickly. What is going on, mate? And it's not letting me choose the speed. Terrific. Okay, it's starting to slow us down now. We are going to put our landing gear down. I am not panicking at all, ladies and gentlemen. This plane has done wonders. It has followed our route perfectly. The route got quite weird at the end, which I didn't show, but here we are now going in at a nice speed on the glide slope. And yeah, as you can see here, we are just underneath the glide slope right now. It is going to start taking us down. We've got our approach on. We've got both autopilots on. We should be hopefully good to go. And yeah, we are coming in. So we need to slow down even more. So we're going to put some flaps down to slow us even more. We've got our landing gear down. We have our landing lights on. So we should pretty much be good to go. And we want to go a bit slower than this. So we don't want to go that slow. If you hold the button down, it kind of takes you down really quickly. We want to be at around 150. And we are going to see if this thing can land itself. As you can see, there's currently cars driving in the water. So that is a nice touch. Bali is bringing the views. But overall, this is a nice airport. I don't know if there's a payware one for this, but I love just being able to land just off the water, which we're doing here. So let's see what we can do here. Will the plane land itself is the real question. Here it comes. And it is looking good. It is starting to flare. And it is going to bring us down very gently. Oh my god. What a magician this plane is. Let's put the brakes on. That was unbelievable. I have never seen a landing that soft before. We forgot to turn FS Realistic on, so you didn't get to hear any clapping or anything like that. But yeah, what an unbelievable landing. This plane has just done it all, ladies and gentlemen. We are clicking the autopilot and we are going to go in. We are going to find our gate. Oh my god, what is my rudder doing? Alright, I don't know what happened at the end. I don't know if that was me or if that was the, It's still doing it. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if that's me or if that's my joystick. But I will see you at the gate and we will talk about whether or not you should buy this plane or wait until Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Alright, mate, that's enough. Something else is still going on. Alright, I'll see you at the runway. At the gate, sorry. Goodbye. right, ladies and gentlemen, we have touched down in Bali. The engines are off, the gate is connected, and we have Dorothy letting the passengers out. They are going to go into Bali, get a bintang, and officially become a bogan. I remember doing it when I was 18, mate, and look at me now. I am flying the 737 MAX. So let's talk about the review for this thing. What do you think I should give it? I'm thinking to myself, probably a 9 out of 10. I absolutely love this thing. I loved flying this thing. It followed the route to perfection. It did the VNAV and LAV very well. The ILS landing was absolutely beautiful. It was the softest landing I've ever had. And that's not really saying much given that we are the worst pilot on YouTube, but even still, I do love this plane. The reason I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 is because I was absolutely in love with the A380 when I flew that. It was a freeware aircraft, so mate, price to performance, you got to give that a 10 out of 10. This is $69, and even though I love that number,
Nice.
it is still a steep ask, particularly given that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is around the corner. So the question is, should you buy this or should you wait for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024? We're about 11 days out, but if you're looking for a study level aircraft, this is going to be in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and this is going to be better than anything else Asobo brings out. You know, we've seen a lot of the Asobo aircraft in this game, and it could never touch the payware aircraft. This is a great aircraft, and they're just going to continue to make it better. So if you're looking for that study level, then yes, I would definitely purchase it. Even right now, give it a couple of flies on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We didn't even know if 2024 is going to be playable when we first get it, but this is an amazing aircraft. I honestly think it beats the PMDG just because it is a MAX, and I mean, it's just beautiful. Look at all of these screens, mate. It's just unbelievable. But in my opinion, if you're looking for study level, definitely get this. If you're looking to just get in a plane and fly, then I would wait for 2024 and see what the 737 MAX is like by Asobo. I've heard good things, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as good as this. And plus, this also has a toilet as well. So, I mean, how can you beat that? So with that, our Virgin flight with Virgin Australia comes to an end, and it was an absolute beauty. If you're interested in watching the Season 1 or Season 2 movie, I'll put them up on the screen now. If you're interested in watching Season 3, we will be uploading the movie soon, but I'll also leave the episodes for you to binge watch as well on my channel. Otherwise, welcome to Season 4. I hope you had a terrific trip. This has been Bogan Airways. Bogan out of here. Thanks for joining.